Namaste children. In our earlier classes of this chapter respiration, we completed what exactly respiration is, which is nothing but oxidation of complex organic substances to release energy. And we had seen the different steps that are involved in the respiration. First step as a breathing process and followed by cellular respiration, and the differences between breathing and respiration, and the role of diaphragm in the mechanism of breathing, and different respiratory organs which are arranged in a systemic manner for the mechanism of breathing. And then we came to know about the diffusion of gases at the alveoli level. Yes, diffusion of gases we are saying. So this word diffusion is saying that exchange of ions from a higher concentration level to lower concentration level. And then we even came to know the different types of respirations, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. And you people made some models of lungs working model, and even you people tested the anaerobic respiration with the help of yeast. Okay, so now in our today's class we're going to learn about the different respiratory organs that are seen in animals, because animals, the living organisms, that if you will observe in your surroundings, they're of different sizes, shapes. So due to which the respiratory organs in animals are not similar. So in our today's class we are going to learn about different respiratory organs. First, suppose if you will see the unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, these are some of the unicellular organisms where the entire body it is made with a single cell. In such living organisms, unicellular organisms, the mode of respiration it is diffusion through the cell membrane. So through the cell membrane they will intake the oxygen and they will release the carbon dioxide outside the body. This method of respiration in the unicellular organisms, we are calling it as a diffusion method of respiration. But whereas if you will see some other multicellular organisms, especially in case of earthworm, you might have noticed earthworm very clearly. The upper skin of the earthworm it is red in color, and the lower skin it is little lightish red or pale white in color. So why the upper skin it is red in color? Because of the presence of hemoglobin. We all know that hemoglobin it is a respiratory pigment which is meant for binding with oxygen and carbon dioxide. So in case of animals like earthworm, now the respiration it takes place through skin. So wherever the respiration it is taking place through skin, we are saying it as a cutaneous respiration. What we are calling it? We are calling such type of respiration where the respiration it is occurring through skin. It's called a cutaneous respiration. So in case of an earthworm, now the hemoglobin it comes out on the surface of this earthworm, and along with the moistness it stays there and helps in the exchange of gases through skin. Okay, that's what, if any time if you will observe earthworms that are present under the soil, in rainy seasons they will come out, but during summer season you won't see the earthworms on the surface of the soil, because in the summer season if the moistness on the skin if it is evaporated, along with this the hemoglobin also evaporates, and it leads to problem in its respiration. So here in case of your earthworms, the mode of respiration occurs through skin. So we are saying such a method of respiration as cutaneous respiration. So now the next organism that if you will see in your surroundings, that is your frog. Frog is an animal which even you can see it lives in water and even it lives on the land. So now in case of a frog, if you will see, it is respiring through its skin, because the skin is having a thin gelatinous membrane that is very permeable to water. So now under the skin, if you will see a large number of blood vessels immediately below the skin, you can see presence of large number of blood vessels. Now they will uptake the oxygen that is dissolved in your water. Means whenever a frog it is present in the water, it uses its skin for the respiration process. The same frog when it comes on the land, then it tries to respire with its lungs. Okay, the same one when it is coming on the land, it is trying to respire with its lungs. So frog is such an animal where in its life cycle it will show three types of respirations. One, it is cutaneous respiration. When it is present in water, it respires through skin, so that is your cutaneous respiration. The second one, when it is present on the land, it respires through its lungs, so we are saying it as a pulmonary respiration. The same frog in its larva stage, tadpole larva stage, it uses its gills for respiration, so there it is branchial respiration. It is one such animal where you can see all the three different types of respirations in its life cycle, that is cutaneous respiration, a branchial respiration, and a pulmonary respiration. So now let us see some animals like your cockroaches. Not only cockroaches, if you will find all the insects, all these insects they are very smaller in their size. Like your ants, cockroach, houseflies, mosquitoes, spiders. So these are all the insects which are very smaller in their size. So in such animals, small tube-like structures are the respiratory organs. Those tube-like structures are nothing but your trachea. So now these trachea, they are opened with a small opening on the lateral side of the body. These openings that are called your spiracles. What we are calling to those openings that are called your spiracles. So now with the help of spiracles, the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide, it occurs through your tube-like structures that are called your trachea. Now the trachea opens into the tracheal trunk and oxygen it is diffused all over the body. So here in case of insects, the mode of respiration or the mechanism of breathing occurs through the trachea. So we are saying such a respiration as tracheal respiration. And after this tracheal respiration, let us go with the another mode of respiration where the living organism is using its gills. Fish is one such living organism which always lives in water. So we are calling it as an aquatic water. So now for such aquatic animals, the oxygen is dissolved in water. So they are respiring the dissolved oxygen. So to get the dissolved oxygen and to respire easily, now they are having a very specialized structures, those we are calling as a gills. What we are calling them? We are calling them as a gills. So these gills are present immediately below the operculum. It's an outer covering which is protecting the gills. So immediately below the operculum, if you will lift the operculum, you can see the gills. So now these gills are the main respiratory organs in the aquatic. These gills are the main respiratory organs in the aquatic animals, and the method of respiration is called branchial respiration. What we are calling here? Branchial respiration. So in humans, you know that we are respiring through lungs. So we are called as your pulmonary respiratory organs. So here a fish, if you will see, and try to understand very clearly, this is the mouth of the fish through which water is entering into the fish body. So now that water it is pumped over the gills. Now on these gills you are having gill lamella Now this gill lamella is meant for absorbing the dissolved oxygen present in the water and releasing the carbon dioxide out. So now that water, it is coming through the operculum outside the body. So let's have a small look how the branchial respiration it is taking place in the fishes. So children, here you are able to see that how the water it is passed over the gills and the oxygen that is absorbed by the gills. Okay. So this is the method of intake of oxygen or breathing mechanism in the fishes, which we are saying as a branchial respiration, because fishes are respiring through the gills. So far we have learnt about different respiratory organs. So let us recollect them. So if any animal, if it is respiring through skin, we are saying it as a cutaneous respiration. If the animal, if it is respiring through trachea, which are nothing but a tube-like structures, then we are saying it as a tracheal respiration. If the animals they are respiring through the gills, then we are saying them as a branchial respiration. If the same animals, or if any animal like human beings, if they are respiring through lungs, then we are saying it as a pulmonary respiration. Okay, that means even in unicellular organisms, directly it is the diffusion process through its cell membrane. That means all over in the all living organisms, if you will consider, we can see all the 4 different types of respirations. That is a cutaneous respiration, a branchial respiration, yes, a tracheal respiration, and a pulmonary respiration. So far we have discussed about different respiratory organs in the living organisms. So let us even learn what exactly a respiratory rate is. So respiratory rate means it is the number of breaths per minute. What is meant by respiratory rate? Respiratory rate means a person's respiratory rate is the number of breaths taken by the person per minute. Okay, so normally the respiratory rate of an adult is 12 to 20 breaths per minute. In an adult healthy human being, if you will see the respiratory rate at rest, it is about 12 to 20 minutes, 20 breaths per time. Okay, so now the respiratory rate from a resting condition to an exercise condition, it will increase. So when you are doing an exercise or any hard works, vigorous works, that time the respiratory rate increases. That means the number of breaths per minute it will increase. Okay, so normally in a adult healthy human being, the respiratory breaths are 12 to 25 times per minute, but during a vigorous exercise the respiratory rate increases from the normal resting condition. So now so far we have discussed about animals, their respiration, everything. What about plants? Are they respire? Yes, plants are also respiring. So for the respiration purpose, plants are having an eye-like opening that is present in the lower side of the leaf, that is called your stomata. So now with the help of stomata, plants are exchanging the gases for photosynthesis and even for respiration process. Okay, children. So far in our class, we have discussed about different respiratory organs and the type of respirations seen in the living organisms. What is a respiratory rate? How it varies from a normal to resting condition, normal to vigorous exercise condition, and the mode of respiration in plants. Okay, children, open your textbook and start reading the chapter that is respiration.